Safety and peace, my fellow gamers. Time Bandit here with a unique video. Today we will be combining theories from many different video game worlds that you might think are totally unrelated. Let's start off explaining the two worlds we'll be talking about, Legend of Zelda and Pokemon. Before you all pounce at me, let me explain. The gaming universe is much smaller than you think due to the sensation known as Easter eggs. And keep in mind, these are fully canon in the stories providing some kind of connection. I have several YouTubers to help me today, starting off as everyone's favorite Special Agent Squirtle, Kenten101.
Okay, so let's get started with explaining Legend of Zelda's connection to Super Mario. So we have two very convincing Easter eggs to prove our theory. First, in Ocarina of Time, if you look in some of the windows of Zelda's castle, you see photos of Mario and several of his allies and enemies. Then, in Super Mario RPG, in one of the hotels, you see the hero of time himself in a bed next to yours. Considering this is before sea travel in Zelda was possible, and Mario hasn't gone into space yet, this can only mean that Hyrule and the Mushroom Kingdom are on the same continent. So moving on, we go from Mario to Metroid. Again, in Super Mario RPG, you encounter Samus sleeping in Peach's bed, probably due to fighting Metroids in Dreamland and Angel Land, but that's for another time. Then we move on to StarCraft, which features a Metroid in one of the tanks near where you are fighting. Then, after more and more crossovers, we get to the Elder Scrolls Morrowind, which has you collect a Marowak's spine.
Wow, so Pokemon is not that far off from Hyrule. I can see it now. Link versus Charizard.
There are lots more to that puzzle. It even goes to the real world with Tony Hawk skating with Doom Guy and Solid Snake.
And don't even get me started on Punch-Out where you fight Mike Tyson. So now we get to the theories. First, let's start off with after the events of Ocarina of Time, in which Link is now searching for Navi. This leads to the adventures of Majora's Mask, but we still don't know where Navi is. Perhaps she's closer than we think. Look at Tal and her brother. Notice that they're opposites color-wise, black and white. Sound familiar? When looking through to the Pokemon universe, we find the elements of black and white too, more specifically black too. The Pokemon Reshiram and Zekrom are based off the yin-yang. I'm gonna need someone to explain this, so now we bring in another fellow member of the Bandit Squad, none other than Tyler the Crazy Man. Can you explain to us what the yin-yang represents?
Sure. The yin-yang is, as most people know, represents light and dark. So let's look at the symbol. Notice how there are two dots, one black in the white, and white in black. This represents the light and darkness, and dark and light. Basically, light and dark are equally matched, and so they simply circle each other. When the balance is disturbed, the side that was weakened loses the struggle. But that one dot prevents the apocalypse from coming. For as long as there is some light and some dark, so we'll continue to thrive.
So take the plot from Black 2 where Reshiram merges with Kyurem. So you would think that light gets stronger and wins, right? Wrong! This actually makes him weaker because he does not have the full yin on his side. He is half yin and half dragon, allowing Zekrom to go in for the kill. Now this causes serious damage to space and time, so let's go back to Navi. The theory is that Navi, while going to wherever she was going, ended up getting caught in the Dark Rift and being sent to our next theory, that in Majora's Mask, Link is dead. We've been going on quite a bit, so I'll send you a link to another theory video which gives the full explanation for that theory. So let's move on. When Navi was caught in the Storm of Darkness, she got separated into two halves, Yin and Yang. And they come out of the storm where they meet Skull Kid, who shelters them from the storm. So when Tal and her brother get separated, the brother, aka Yang, ends up with Skull Kid for his darkness. But what makes Tal go with Link? I'll ask both of you. What is so special about Link that the Yin chooses him?
The Triforce of Courage. But wait, couldn't Link only get it when he drew the Master Sword and aged 7 years?
I can answer that easily. The only way he could have lost it is if he sacrificed his title and put the sword in himself. But in reality, he was sent back to before he drew the sword, so it was already there. Even Zelda's magic can't remove the Triforce.
Ah, I see. So Link grew younger in age, but he still had the soul of his adult self.
That's right. So even in hell, he had the guiding light of the yin to help him. It might have been the only thing keeping him sane when he put on the Great Deity mask. Now back to Pokemon. When Zekrom took over, things went down the plug hole, allowing big-name villains from the Twilight Realm like Ganondorf, and prin- turned its princess into an imp.
Not to mention free Majora's Mask.
Fill us in, no wise one.
In the manga of Majora's Mask, in the bonus chapter, it shows the origin of the mask. To sum it up, Link's ancestor goes up to the powerful dragon with armor that can grant wishes to kill him since the people were afraid, but he didn't want to kill the dragon, so he take out some drums and plays a beat. Dragon dances along. Feelings of joy, and on the second week, boom, dragon dies. Ancestor takes out Feather Sword and carves Majora's Mask and throws it into the abyss of time. And when Yin fell to Yang, Majora's Mask broke free and entered Termina, which he met up with the nearest evil dude, the Happy Mask Salesman.
Wait, what?
I can take it from here. The salesman had conned many people into getting masks that crumbled easily and for a very expensive cost. He cheated people out of their money and became rich, but died early on because of karma.
And therefore, we have our villain. Due to his greedy nature, he took the mask and hid it so that no one would see, hoarding it for himself, at least until karma bites him in the butt again and is coned out of it by
Conned out of it.
scolded. Conned out of it, my bad.
And back to the Pokemon world. While things are going crazy, you manage to get to Zekrom and beat him in a Pokemon battle. Since you already did it before, shouldn't be too hard. Once you defeat him, balance is restored and everyone gets lemonade.
Wait, what?
Nothing. Anyways, now that things are good in Hell 2, the only evil left is the King of Evil himself, Ganondorf. But then he dies at the end of Twilight Princess. Sorry for that spoiler, but I think you can predict a twist like the bad guy dies. Anyways, thanks for watching. This is Time Bandit.
This is Kenten101,
And this is Crazy Man.
signing out.
Signing out.
Peace.
Peace.